Got him. Damn it. You got him weak. He's weak. He's weak. I didn't even know he was on me. Nice free kill. Beautiful. Alright, freeze. I'm gonna, yeah. Oh, fuck. Nice. It's weak. Okay, I decided to slow this down because what the hell is my mentor's ambition? Did you guys see that? Like, how can a gun that has not that much, like, you know what? Mine is stupid range, but like, in general, how can a shotgun like this do that shit? Like, it makes you wonder sometimes, like, what if it had full choke? Like, I've done some dirty things with my freaking Dust Rock Blues, I'm telling you guys. But, that was nasty, bro. He recovered too, and he still died from like one shot with the spare rations. I don't know what to say. But, thank you, Bungie. Words of Apes Worldwide. In this section of the video, I'm going to be discussing the most meta ape loadout that you can possibly possess in the Crucible. Have fun with this. Anyways, this video was supposed to be about the spare rations. I don't know what I started out with the My Mentor's ambition, but those two shotguns are actually very good. Shotguns. Those two weapons are actually very good to pair with each other because the spare rations covers your mid and medium to long range, and then the My Mentor's ambition or shotgun you want to run covers your close range, like you say there, and then you can use your melee ability to supplement that as well. Yep, you see that there. This shotgun also has rampage on it, so it makes it easier to deal with multiple targets at once. But the spare rations, which I'm supposed to be covering in this video mainly, it has, I'll post it on the screen, it has rangefinder, it has auto-loading holster, which people underestimate because they're like, okay, there's better perks, and that's not, yeah, there are, but it's not too bad to have in your, it's a useful perk, like, no matter how you look at it in some way. It's not like a god roll perk, but it's pretty good. Like, it comes in clutch sometimes. But anyways, it also has hammer forged rifling and small bore for the barrels, and then it has light mag, and I think it's like I think it's just light mag on this one, but I'll post it so you guys will be able to see exactly what it is because I don't remember it right at this moment. But it's a decent spare rations, and it also has a range masterwork, so that pushes out the range even more with a rangefinder. So it has like a decent amount. This is the second most range I have in spare rations. My other one has like, I'll post both the stats of my most range and my second most range, which is this one, so that you can see the comparison of what they look like in terms of their stats, so that you can know like what's pretty okay to have in spare rations nowadays, because you don't necessarily always have to have range. Like if you have a decent perk set, you have a decent amount of range, you have like range perks in the slots, and you have powerful perks to go with it, you can get a pretty decent one after farming for a few, maybe even hours. You might get one that's like pretty good. So like, don't give up, keep farming for that every single week when it comes out, because it comes out every other week. It's Oryx, so you want to get, honestly, I recommend tier 2 Reckoning because it's a little bit easier to get done with blueberries if you're really in that situation. If you have a team that's like really good, you might as well farm tier 3, and then when you don't get a drop from tier 3, then you farm tier 2 and try to get a guaranteed drop. I've never really done this. I've always just farmed tier 2, but I've heard people enjoy doing that. But I just stick to tier 2 farming, and I've got a decent amount of spare rations doing that. So that's what I recommend personally, but the other way is also an option. But if you're going to go into the Reckoning, I recommend that you have a Tether Hunter, maybe even 2 Tether Hunters if you're going in with a friend. But if you're going with a friend, they have a Warlock. I would recommend running the mid-tree well, because it helps you stay alive on the bridge very well. There are snipers on the platforms when you're trying to cross the bridge, so watch out for those guys. even a sniper is decent to have, but if you have like a bow, like a wish ender or something, or you have just like an arbalist or just something to kill those snipers, that's really useful. At least one person to have that on their team, But the rest should be either DPS, like if you have 2 tethers and you have 1 warlock, a nice DPS character like even Blood Barrage, Golden Gun, roaming supers like Nova Warp, or just even Nova Bomb with Skull of Armkara is a pretty good option for the bridge phase, and the rest is just mostly killing orcs. So anything that's high DPS will work here. So have fun doing that, guys, and have fun with your spare ration drops. So I'm going to go into what I like about each spare rations. I'm going to go into spare rations number 1, which was the first one with Swashbuckler. So what I love about this one is that the amount of range you get without rangefinder, and it's like it has the most range stat, like a base range stat when you look at it on a piece of paper. It has like the highest number, but compared to spare rations number 2, it's not actually having the most effective range. Like it will drop off damage at a decent amount of range. Like when you're at 50 meters, like 20, 50 meters, like in that range, it's going to be a little bit more inconsistent. Whereas the spare ration number 2, because it has rangefinder, it's very consistent out to like I'm just listening to myself in the gameplay. That was pretty funny. But if you have rangefinder on it, it pushes out the range even more so that you can use it like a pulse rifle. Like you can compete with pulse rifles, you can compete with scout rifles sometime if they're in your effective range. And like don't expect to be sniping people with this thing, but like on a close range map, which a lot of maps in Destiny are close range, you will be able to actually hold your ground in terms of range. So I recommend rangefinder on your spare rations. So rangefinder even works when your spare rations doesn't have a lot of range, but the good thing about the spare rations is that even if you get unlucky and you don't get a lot of range perks in your other slots, if you have like at least like 40-50 range on your spare rations and you have rangefinder, it'll make it to where it's usable and you can actually compete. So let me go into the one that actually has rangefinder on it. So it's basically just like it has the same range as the other one, but you can basically just snipe people and it actually holds its ground. So the other thing I like about it is that it has auto-loading holster, and auto-loading holster is one of those perks that people sort of underestimate. But if you're like being aggressive with a shotgun or something, it can come in clutch, because right there it probably reloaded my gun, it probably reloaded my primary weapon. It's been done already because it happens after a certain time if you don't have it out. So let's see if my primary weapon gets reloaded in the game. But yes, it's perfectly reloaded, and I can be aggressive again and turn around and shoot somebody with my spare rations. So that's where it comes in clutch. Like in that situation, I pulled out my spare rations and it was completely reloaded without me having to stop and take the time to reload. So it's like a tactical perk. So the third spare rations, I'll show you guys this third spare rations. It doesn't have a lot of range, but it's like alright range, you know. It's not, it has full bore, so it has full bore, and I think it has light mag as well, so it goes with some synergy with what I'm about to tell you in this analysis of this weapon. So it has stability and it has full bore. So what's good about that combo is that it's sort of synergistic, because full bore takes away your stability, it gives you a lot of range, so it's really good on a hand cannon to have. But the problem is that people complain about is that, oh my gosh, now my ration's kicking everywhere, it's so hard to hit shots, oh my gosh. But the thing about this hand cannon is that it rolled with rapid hit, which sort of supplements that problem by giving you stability. And the other thing is that it has stability masterwork, so it sort of supplements that problem even more, just even if you don't have the perk active. So it's really good. So when you get kill clip active, which is after you get a kill with the hand cannon and you reload, it can even activate off of marksman's dodge, which is on every hunter subclass. So if you kill someone with this gun and then you dodge, even if you don't have rapid hit, you can reload super fast and then get a quick 2-tap on your opponent, and it feels so satisfying to get that 2-tap with the fire rate that this thing has. It's super fun to use. Personally, I don't always use it, because like sometimes you can find yourself fiending for that 2-tap kill, and then you know you're fucked up because you're pushing too hard and you're trying to get 2 taps with a gun, and there's like 2 people down there, and you're like, oh yeah, you can totally take that on, but you just can't because there's too many people, and you would have died if you were using a freaking missile. So the thing about this hand cannon is that it's a laser beam, so when you do have a good opportunity to use it, you're gonna go on a spree, especially in like 6v6. It's super fun to use this thing. So that's my spare rations that I got in the gameplay. I'm gonna go more into depth on what you guys should use with your spare rations in a bit. So some of my favorite things to run with the spare rations include snipers. Snipers are my favorite, probably, to be honest, because when you run a sniper with spare rations, if you just body shot them, I'm talking about specifically Beloved here. You have a very fast handling with Beloved if you get it with a good roll. I recommend quick draw or snapshot on your Beloved. Honestly, it's not that much of a hassle if you don't get both those perks at once, but if you do, you're very lucky, so enjoy that gun, and I'm jealous of you until I get one, of course. But if you're running a spare rations, I recommend a sniper or a shotgun, to be honest, because I've run the spare ration with a fusion rifle. There's nothing wrong with running with a fusion rifle if that's what you like, but honestly, I feel like a fusion rifle should be run with maybe a last word, because if you're using Aerontil, you're probably using Aerontil, aren't you? Yeah, you are. Of course you are, because you're a Destiny player and you like winning and you like making the enemy mad at you. So you use Aerontil, and I don't fault you because I use my Minder's Ambition and I use Beloved. So I'm just giving you this information if you want to get better at the game. But Beloved is a really good option to run. And any shotgun like my Minder's Ambition, if you have a retold tail, if you have a what's it called, sudden death shotgun that you want to use, like if you haven't played the game for a while and you want to run Botheration, which is a little bit of an older shotgun, and you have it lying around in your vault, put it on. It's a really good shotgun. You don't have to really do that much in the game to get it, but it's really good if you do have it. So those are good options to run with spare rations. Another option that I actually just thought of was the Lord of Wolves. So the Lord of Wolves is this thing in Destiny where basically you just like fusion rifle people with a shotgun and like also snipe them at the same time while like RKOing them in the face. So like if you run that with the spare rations, and a decent one at that, like a decent spare rations, you're gonna feel pretty strong as you see this fucking Lord of Wolves just mopping that guy up like nothing. He's just standing there, just spraying him to death with shotgun pellets of burning hell death onto him. And he's just like, no, and he sees the screen shaking and he's like, oh my gosh, the Lord of Wolves is coming to eat me. And then he gets eaten up by the Lord of Wolves and he's like, it's just as I expected. I failed to this shotgun that's plaguing the Crucible with its effectiveness. Yes, that one. I just want to point out how the spare rations is actually faring in that section of gameplay right there. It was sitting like 25, 27 to the head from a pretty decent range. So that also just shows how effective this gun is. Like I was dealing with 2 targets, and since I have a hand cannon, I'm able to peek when they're not able to peek. And they're, 68 to the head, obviously. Most spare rations will do that in that range, but this gun is just so amazing because if you're not even on their hitbox, sometimes you just get free bullets because of how much aim assist it has. It's like one of the best hand cannons just in the game, just currently. Just try it out, guys. It's really good. Like it has 100 recoil direction, so if you have a decent amount of ability to just pull straight down on the stick, you will land headshots, you will land body shots, and you will start killing people. And if you have kill clip, even if you're landing all body shots, who cares? Just kill them. Just kill them. Just shoot them and kill them. That's what I suggest, guys. I know that sounds like really simple advice, and it is, but trust me, guys, you need to listen to me. Just kill them with spare rations and then reload for kill clip or punch them in the face, have swashbuckler active, 2-tap them, 3-tap them, whatever, and then you'll just have a good time with this gun and you'll be like, oh my gosh, I'm never going to use anything again except for maybe an exotic hand cannon. But some of the exotics in this game, exotic hand cannons can't even compete with the spare rations when it has a good roll, which is just mind-blowing. And it's the fact that it has a 150 is the same as Thorn. It's the same RPM as Thorn. It's not that hard to use. It's like the perfect like blend. It's like, you know, the story of the three bears. You have like Not Forgotten in its old state, fire rate, which is like the really, really hot one. And then you have like the Duke, which is the really cold one and lumpy one. And then you have the perfect porridge, which is spare rations with a lot of range and some damage perks. That's how I would describe the spare rations. That's why you should use it, because it's the perfect balance of effective and usable and deadly. So that's what I recommend it. Now I put these gameplays together in a row because a lot of these games were right back to back, so I'm just trying to show you how consistent this gun is. Like, it really just does work. Like, and this is the one that doesn't even have damage perks on it. It just has range. So like, this basically, like, whenever I play with this, I feel like I'm using a spare rations or like a hand cannon pre-nerf. Like, that's what it feels like to use. So like, it basically just nullifies the nerf to hand cannons when you have rangefinder and a decent range on a hand cannon. And it, like, there's been tests done by people like Ceridius on YouTube, and he's like shown that it just has more range than Ace of Spades even, and Ace of Spades range stat, it looks like it's huge. So like, the fact that this with a rangefinder and a decent amount of range can outrange an Ace of Spades, which has a buttload of range and has damage perks, you know, that's where the Ace of Spades sort of shines, though, with damage perks. But anyways, if you have damage perks on your spare ration and you have a lot of range, you're still good then. like just kill clip even, can make this gun an absolute monster. So that's my advice to you guys, once again, as another reason to use this gun, if it isn't clear enough that it's worth actually farming for. But, you know, just some guns in this game are easier to get in terms of being able to just attain them, and it's not that hard to actually, you know, come across them. But spare rations is not necessarily one of those guns. You sort of have to work for it, and it's like, it can be a pain in the ass. It's sort of like a less horrible version of farming for Mindbitter's Ambition, if you know what that is like. But if you've ever farmed for Mindbitter's Ambition, then this is like a less painful version of doing that, because there's also a chance that you can get a god roll outlast in the process, or a god roll bug out back if you just happen to, you know, feel like trying it out just for fun or something. Because why would you use that if you could just use, you know, recluse or something, or you know what I mean exactly. But like, or like a last dance, or you know, a last hope or something, you know what I mean. But yeah, that's just the gun there. It's very useful, so spend your time on it, and I don't think you'll be disappointed. I really don't, because it's actually worth it. Like, I've gotten thousands of kills on spare rations, and all I have to say is that from beginning to end using this gun, it consistently can 3-tap people. As you can see right there, like, it consistently is able to deal with people at range and register bullets in the face. So even in the air, you know, it's a very usable gun. So recommend that you go into tier 2 Reckoning once again and obtain it. Very much recommend. I'm gonna stop saying that and let you guys watch. So goodbye, guys, and hope you guys enjoy the rest of the game. Watching me get destroyed by this arc strider, which I was trying to melee, and I got really pissed off. But anyways, later, guys. Peace out.